Hey, this is Mr. Ng going over the pre-calculus first semester factoring test. This is version odd, taken September 8th, 2017. Multiple choice directions. All you have to do is just circle the best answer. Question number 1, true or false. Look at question number 3 below. And does it have the greatest common factor? So if I look at number 3 here, if I break down the factors, you realize that there's nothing in common there. So the answer is false. There is no common factor. Question number 2, factor out completely. So you can do the same thing here. You can break them into factors. So I'm going to take this expression there that I have. It's kind of big, so something like that. 8 times 2. Here you can write out 9x's if you wanted to. And 9y's. This is a super long way, but it will definitely get you the answer. I have 8 times 3, and then 6 x's, and then 7 y's. And then this one is 8 times 2, and then a set of x's, 2 y's. So there, I'm just, here is one of the greatest common factors. And then I look at this one has 3 x's. So I just underline 3 x's there. So that's x to the third. And then you only have 2 y's there. So 2 y's, these 2, and those 2. So that'll be y squared. So then you, whatever's left that you didn't underline in green, so 2x to the 6. And this would be y to the 7th. Here you don't have that 3. So the operation over here was subtraction, so minus 3x to the 3rd, and then count my y, so I got y to the 5th power. And here still minus 2, and there's nothing left over there. So that would be choice B. Question number 3. If you recognize in this problem there is no b value, so if you do 25x squared plus 0x plus 36, I need 2 numbers that multiply to b. A, B, and C. So A times C, you have 25 times 36. So you have this huge number there, right? And then I have a b value of 0. So if I multiply this 2 numbers together, I get 25 times 36. And if I take the square root of that number, trying to look for identical numbers there, square root, I have 30. So positive 30 and a negative 30. So this would be 900. And then if I put that into my box, that would be 25x squared, 30x minus 30x. And this would be, my C value is 36. C value, 36. So this would be 5x, 5x. This would be plus 6, and this would be a minus 6. So actually, I need to go back and change your answer. The answer is B. This is a difference of squares. Question number 4, solve. So in order to solve, you have to set it equal to 0. So A, B, and C, if you factor it, this is your A times C, this is your B value. 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 30, but also add to be positive 6. Negative 5 and 6. Take those 2 numbers there, bottom left, top right, add an x there. Your A term always goes there, and your last term always goes there. And then you're thinking about what 2 terms will multiply to get that inside the box. So 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times 3 is 6x, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, and 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Students who are starting to use this, the most common mistake is to put a 2 up here and then the x over here, switching these two. and you realize that 2x times something doesn't equal negative 5x. So you have 2x minus 5, and then x plus 3. And then when you set them equal to 0, that's called the zero product rule. Add 5, divided by 2, you get 5 halves, and subtract 3, you get negative 3. Question number 5, multiple choice. Factor completely. I have x minus 2, or x squared plus 0x minus 4. So your a value is 1, b value is 0, and c value is negative 4. So multiple choice, I actually don't know if you're using quadratic formula. C value is negative 4, put 2x, negative 2x, and then x times x times negative 2, x times a positive 2, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So x plus 2 and x minus 2 are the answers. Question number 6, it tells me to factor. A is 2, b is 7, c is 6. A times c is 12. Your b value is 7. Two numbers that multiply to be 12 are 3 and 4, and they also add to be 7. So I take the 3. 3, it doesn't matter. They just have to be in the top right, bottom left. Any order. And then you put your first term, 2x squared, and 6 over down there. And I have 2x times x gives you 2x squared. Remember that 2, where to place it, 2 doesn't have a common factor over 3. You see that? So in this row right here, you're taking basically the greatest common factor, and also taking the greatest common factor this way. 2x times 2 is 4x, x times 3 is 3x, and 2 times 3 is 6. So I have x plus 2 and 2x plus 3, which is choice D. So 6 multiple choice times 2, and then if you write your name, period, that's 15 points for that page. Turn to the back side. For your response, make sure you show all your work and box your answers. Solve by factoring. So it's not set equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 3x. Add 5 because that's the opposite. You get 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. I'm going to identify my a, b, and c. So a is 4, b is negative 12, c is 9. So a times c is 36. B value is negative 12. Two numbers that multiply to be positive 36 but add to be negative 12 are negative 6 and negative 6. Take those two values, put it there. First term goes on the top left. Multiply 2x times 2x gives you 4x squared. Negative 3 times 2x gives you negative 6x. 2x times negative 3 gives you negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 3 equals 9. This problem does say solve. So I have 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3 equals 0. You have two of those. You can do a power of 2 if you like. Or you can separate them. And I took the square root. 2x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 divided by 2, x equals 3 halves. So if you got up here, I gave you 3 out of 4 points. Question number 8 says identify a, b, and c. Make sure to add that 16 over to the equal sign. Remember, it has to be set equal to 0. Your a is 1, b is negative 10, your c is 16. If you put in x squared there or negative 10x, those will be incorrect. 1 point each. Take those values, factor it, x minus 8, x minus 2 equals 0. It does say solve by factoring, so if you use like quadratic formula, graphing, you'd be marked incorrect. You're looking for the skill of factoring. Set equal to 0, x equals 8, x equals 2. So I gave you 1 point if you solved it by quadratic formula. Question number 9 says solve by factoring. If you just got one of the solutions, they give you 3 points. Again, I'm going to set it equal to 0. You're trying to make your a value positive. The reason why it makes it easier to factor. So subtract 4m from both sides. Now I'm going to factor out a greatest common factor of 4m. Remember, you can always double check by distributing. That gives 36m squared and negative 4m. Set each of those equal to 0. Divide by 4. M is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1/9. Last problem. I'm going to set everything equal to 0. Remember, try not to have your a value negative, so I'm going to add that to the left side, subtract, and you get this. If I factor out an x, I get x squared minus 2x minus 24. And then if you factor what's in the parentheses, I'm going to get x minus 6, x plus 4. Remember, you also have to have that x there, and we're just factoring. You're not solving. So x times quantity, x minus 6, x plus 4. So you had 4 multiple choice questions. I mean, 4 free response at 4 points apiece, plus those 3 ABC values, so 19. You just turn your page like this. 15 plus 19 gives you out of 34. Hope those corrections were helpful for you.